Look, Crown Royal. I ain't had Crown Royal in years. Welcome to the According Sources podcast. I'm your host, Andre Williams, and today I am joined by Rob. Rob, say hello to the people.
What's up, people?
We were supposed to have Chris and no Devin. Chris may jump in later. We're going to get right into this. We have a breaking announcement that the Cavaliers, Pacers, and Jazz are discussing a three-way deal that would land Kyrie in Utah, George Hill and Paul George in Cleveland. This is per Mitch Lawrence. Rob, what do you think about that? Kyrie going out, Paul George coming in.
I don't like it at all because I don't think that offense was their problem. I don't understand why you feel the need to replace Kyrie like he was the issue. If anything, figure something out to replace Tristan Thompson. I mean, if you feel like you need to replace somebody to get the team better, don't take offense off of your team. Don't take a guy that could potentially score 30, 40 points, in the finals, to bring in somebody that couldn't get his team out of the second round.
Okay, so hold on. You don't think that adding Paul George um, kind of nets against itself? You lose
No,
Kyrie, you get Paul George, like it can't that cancels each other out. But getting
I
George
don't.
Hill, it may
I don't
make
know,
your
man.
defense better.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Paul George can be dope, but I don't know, man. Something about him, though. I don't. He didn't prove anything to me. He didn't do himself any favors in my eyes this past playoffs.
What he do in the playoffs? What was he like? 35, 9 and 8. That ain't good enough for you.
Nah, but I mean, in the bigger moments when he had the chance to ice games and put stuff away, he was trash. Damn, these are nice.
Okay, I mean I'm not gonna disagree with you. I don't think I like the trade either. To be honest with you, but I do see the reasoning behind it. Right, like you said, offense wasn't the problem, so I don't think they're making a trade in a sense to for offense. I think it is something they're trying to get their defense set. George Hill, an obvious downgrade from Kyrie Irving until you go to the defensive end of it. And I mean, he's much better defensively than Kyrie Irving is. I don't think that's anything that can be disputed. Then you look at Paul George. Okay, you're gonna lose some things with Kyrie, but you're gonna gain some things in the process when you get a Paul George. You have someone who could still take the ball out of LeBron's hands from time to time. When LeBron sits down, you have Paul George out there. He's younger. LeBron no longer has to guard a Kevin Durant, and when he does, it's he's picking the spots instead of having to do it, and watching KD go off. I mean, KD's going to get his anyway,
Is
but at
is
least
is is, is Paul George that dope of a defender?
he's a good defender.
Like I'm genuinely asking because I don't know.
When he goes out there and plays, yeah, he's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to stop KD from doing what he does. But I think you just want it, like we were talking off the air. Maybe LeBron went to them and said, "I don't want to have to guard the best people because the best players are generally going to be wing players at this point in the NBA. Maybe he doesn't want to have to do that all the time anymore. And then you don't want it to be where like, well, if LeBron isn't guarding Kevin Durant, we have Amon Shumpert on him. We
Yeah,
have
that's boo boo. That's
uh,
boo boo.
uh, Jay Henney, J.R. Smith on him. You don't want him
That's boo boo
either.
too.
You got Richard Jefferson, who every time he guarded KD in the finals was just getting. I think KD broke a pair of his shoes with a crossover. Tore up a whole pair of that boy's shoes on a step back or something. He stopped on a dime and put it behind his back and pulled up for a jump and Richard Jefferson couldn't stop and the shoes exploded. Like you don't want the drop off from LeBron guarding them to somebody else guarding them being that big of a drop off. And that's not to say that LeBron was guarding them well either, because he was cooking his ass too. KD's gonna get what he's gonna get, but you don't want it to be. You want him to actually work for it a little bit more. And you see how Paul George is. He's younger than LeBron. He may have the energy to continue to do that for a little bit longer. And then when he gets tired, you can throw LeBron on. Give Paul George a rest. and then when Paul George gets his win back, you bring LeBron back. I understand the idea of it, but I still don't know if I like it. I don't think I like that. You
Yeah, I
know,
don't know, man. It's something about it just don't scream better to me.
it feels like a lateral move, right?
Yeah, it really does because now I mean I guess if you throw in George Hill in a deal, they still get a point guard. But I mean, a lot of what Kyrie did was a lot of one-on-one stuff, and getting to the basket and getting his points that way. I mean, is George Hill gonna be able to do that kind of stuff?
Nah, but wouldn't you assume that Paul George would be the one taking over those responsibilities of getting? But then I think a lot of the things that they really depended on was Kyrie just going absolutely ballistic.
Well,
And
that's what I'm. Well, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
as much as I do like Paul George, I don't see that type of
No, that's
just I'm
that's
just
that's what I
going on.
mean. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of it was Kyrie just getting, if he wanted to drop, if he was able to, and was having a dope night, shooting and everything else, dropping 35. And like
Yeah,
I don't know, just I don't know, something about the move just don't do it for me. You
I
know,
don't.
so many teams are just trying so hard to chase the Warriors, and they're gonna do it at the expense of possibly screwing up what they already have. Like the Cavs aren't a bad team. Like
No, they're
they
just not good enough, like
they're gonna
everybody else.
potentially start blowing up stuff. Trying to get better than the Warriors.
And that's like we were talking about it earlier before we got on the air. I don't think there is a combination of players in the NBA that they could put together right now that would make them that would make them better. Because it's not just the talent that the Warriors have; it's how seamlessly that talent works together. Uh, they all they everybody can shoot. You have three guys that are playmakers. One guy that is just a knockdown. I'm running off screens, uh, getting open, and if I'm not open, somebody's under the basket. I think they got the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors got the Cavaliers in Game 5 on 3 straight possessions of Klay Thompson running off of baseline screens and the guy screening, slipping to the basket for a layup or a dunk because both of the Cavaliers run towards Klay Thompson. Like it's not just the talent level. Like you could put talent together. We are about to watch a team put a bunch of talent together right now in Houston, and we'll talk about that later. You could put talent together, but when the Warriors got Kevin Durant, it was never a problem in my mind of fit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
they got Kevin Durant. He's just gonna slide right into this slot, and that's just gonna be it. And like, of course, there were going to be growing pains, and we saw that. But when he started playing within the confines of what they try to do, it was like that. There wasn't a time to try to figure it out. And I think, like, first of all, if you put Paul George and LeBron James, and like they're gonna have to figure that out.
Figure that's gonna take a while,
That's gonna take a while
and
to
I don't
figure it
think
out.
that they don't need to figure it out with what they have now.
Yeah, they
It looks
already
like
know.
it looks like they're already debunking this thing right now, Dre.
Yeah, that you. The first thing is they would have to trade or renounce. I want a lot of money to open up space for this to even happen. But if this is what they're considering, maybe they shouldn't have fired the general manager. Just gonna throw that out there. Maybe they should have allowed him to
Which
stay
is another
around.
thing. Another thing is like don't you probably want to have a general manager in place before you start making these kind of fucking moves and decisions?
General managers are overblown. What are you talking
But I'm saying though, like, don't bring me into a situation where you've already, handcuffed me to your moves already. Like, cause if I'd have
about?
came in, like you hire me and bringing me in, like I wouldn't made that move. I
I
wouldn't make that
thought
move.
I thought your boy was making all of the moves now. He was the one doing all the talking.
Who?
Who's the owner? Gilbert.
Gilbert?
Gilbert. I thought this is all his, like he's calling the shots now until they hire someone. I don't know
I
what the hell's
mean,
going on there.
who the hell knows what's going on? They don't even know what the hell's going on there.
Okay, so point blank, you don't. Is it a negative move or is it just a lateral move that could potentially be as good as what they have now? But
I feel like it feels very negative. I don't even know if it even feels lateral anymore. It's pretty negative.
just like that,
Yeah,
we've gone from the lateral to the negative.
yeah, I'm over it. It's pretty negative.
Man, you sound like Jason Whitlock. He was really down on PG too. Okay, okay.
For him it's a whole lot more personal than it is.
Yeah, that's because he's a dickhead.
Yeah, he's from there, so
who would you rather see pick up Paul George? Okay, let's take the Cavaliers out of the situation. Who do you want to see him go to?
I don't want to see him go to Boston for a number of reasons. I don't even like Boston, and Paul George hasn't done anything to make me dislike him. So I don't want to see him. So I don't want to see him in Boston because he'll quickly go from a person that I, generally I'm okay with to somebody I can't fucking stand if he goes to Boston.
Just like that.
So, oh yeah, I mean, once you put on that uniform, I mean, I can't rock with you no more. I don't know. I guess maybe Houston.
So you're talking about Houston, PG, Paul George, PG, CP3, Harden, and I think they're trying to pick somebody else up too. That's a lot of basketball.
They can stick with what's it called. He can work.
Who? Clint Capella?
Yeah.
That's a lot of basketballs, man. Like a lot of guys that need the ball to be good. Like I know Paul George can come off the screens and play off the ball a little bit, but
I don't necessarily think Paul George would need the ball as much in that environment. I don't think CP3 would need it as much as people think. I think he'd be willing. I think he'd be willing
to like
to.
CP3.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different thing.
And I think he does need the ball to be himself. And I'm like, that's the interesting part about him going to Houston to me, is how much control is he willing to give up? Because if you're playing with James Harden, he's going to that team. Like when he went to the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan was young, Blake Griffin was young. Where were they, like in their second year or third year when he got there? Both young guys. When he got to the Clippers, that was his team. Now he's going to the Houston Rockets, and you're looking at James Harden. He's second. He came in second in MVP voting for 2 straight years or 3 straight years or whatever the hell it is. That's his team. So
this is one of those things we love to make a big deal out of. Once it happens, don't you think that they had some sort of conversation before all of that happened?
I'm sure they did, but I want to know what's going to happen
on what they would do and how they would they would play together.
It all sounds good when they're talking about it before it happens. We had 3 alphas here, and it was kumbaya until they start playing together. And everybody wants Rondo gone. But so I want to know what's going to happen when James Harden does something that Chris Paul doesn't like. And we all know Chris Paul likes jumping in people's faces and putting his little ass hands in their face, screaming and hollering. I want to see, like, how is James Harden going to accept that? Because I can already see it happening.
Because James Harden, I mean, as dope as he is offensively, we all know this by now. He's a fucking slouch on defense.
He does not play defense.
Ain't that kind of, they definitely gonna clash over that shit.
They are going to clash over that. Now I will give James this. Not this year, but last year he played defense. And
in fucking spurts.
Yeah, he was in spurts, but he played defense.
He look,
and he was not a bad defender. So when he puts forth the effort, he can play defense.
His playing defense is like a notch above. Is what regular basketball players are doing.
Yeah, but he did play. I mean, he played defense. He wasn't bad at it when he attempted it, So, but what I'm getting at is maybe he couldn't keep up what he did offensively. What was so required of him offensively for that team, and be good defensively. So maybe this is something good for him in that aspect too. Maybe if the ball was not in his hand so much, I know even though 2 years ago he was the shooting guard, I understand it's really just a label. He was running the offense. The entire offense went through him. Maybe now, if the entire offense doesn't go through him, he could devote a little bit of his energy towards just not letting guys go directly to the basket. Maybe he could do that. We'll see. You never know. But they also talking about Melo. So if this is what the Cavaliers are trying to do with this Paul George thing, it leads me to believe that they're really not interested in getting Melo. But I really want them to get Melo. I really want them to get Melo.
Oh, you just can't wait to see something crash and burn. You're dying. You are dying.
I mean,
I'll stand back and watch it burst into flames and combust upon itself. And you just
watched that in the finals.
Putting your hands to the sky and just going, yes, look at it burn.
I watched that in the finals.
It's so
I got the joy of watching that entire thing burn. I watched it as the Warriors burned them to the ground in a hailstorm of threes and layups and dunks. I mean, I watched that, but I really want them to get Melo because that will really signify the end of that. It's over. I like Melo, I do, and I say this with all the love of a fan. He's a fucking loser. He's a loser, and I don't know if. LeBron sheen. I don't know if LeBron can shine that loser up into a winner. I don't know. But I would love to see him try.
I think he could.
Oh my God, I would love to see Carmelo Anthony in 2018 guarding Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals.
Oh,
what Kevin Durant did to LeBron will look like LeBron was the Defensive Player of the Year after what Kevin Durant does to Carmelo Anthony. I hope they get him. I hope there's some way in the world they can figure out this buyout and he goes running directly into LeBron James's arms, because if we think that team is bad defensively now, what is it going to be with him?
Slew-footed ass Carmelo on their team.
There was I only saw Carmelo attempt to play defense 1 year. 1 year.
You're not even quick enough to play defense anymore.
Yeah, the only time I seen him do it was when he went to the Western Conference Finals with Denver. They were playing Kobe.
Yeah, you're talking about fucking 10 years
10
ago.
years ago. And so now you're talking about
like I was just watching the video that he posted of him working out. He fucking walking
steps.
He fucking walking in sand. I'm like, look at this thing. Yeah. He like practicing underwater. He might as well be a 10 feet of water player. Like his shot's still wet, but like his little moves to the basket was like, dog, seriously? Nah.
He's getting to that point in his career where, the shots are still wet, but they're more difficult.
Yeah, because he can't jump.
Fast enough.
Because he can't jump. Because he can't get off the ground.
Enough to get separation, and he's not jumping as high as he used to. So
he can't get a goddamn credit card under his feet when he jumps.
So now it's like, okay, yeah, you're still hitting these jump shots, but as he gets older, it's going to become more difficult. And he was already
not the most athletic dude.
But he took difficult shots to begin with. Like that was the main issue with Carmelo. Like everything looks good when you're hitting it, but some of the shots that he takes just aren't good. Like that's the bigger issue. He doesn't take good shots. He just happens to hit them. So now as he's getting older, he's still taking the same bad shots, but he's not getting the same separation. Rob, kids are going wild. No. So we got CP3 in Utah. I mean, in Houston. We have Gordon Hayward planning on meeting with the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, and then he's going to meet with the Utah Jazz, and I believe it is in that order. Where do you think Gordon Hayward is going to land?
Boston,
I do too. I mean, it was like
without a question.
he was born to be a Boston Celtic, and I
Yep,
like him though. I like him though. I like
yep.
Gordon Hayward.
Which is why I'm going to instantly dislike this dude once, because he is like you said. We're not saying it without you guys know what we're talking about though. You know why he's born to play in Boston. We all know it. You can look at his face, and you know why
His
Gordon
coach is there
Hayward
too.
deserves to be playing in Boston.
Say it, Rob. Say it. Why?
Because
Stupid.
he's fucking white. Because he's a fucking white boy with a perfect fucking white boy haircut.
All of your hate mail can be directed to Rob Tizzle.
Bring it on, bitches. I
But
said the shit.
I want him to go there. And I know earlier you said you didn't want PG to go there, but I wouldn't mind for them to get PG and Gordon Hayward,
Oh Jesus!
and then roll PG, Gordon Hayward, IT2, and Al Horford out and see what happens. I would love to see that because then you would have a legitimate.
You'd have a contender against the Cavs.
Against the Cavs, you have a legitimate contender against the Cavs, and it pisses me off that CP3 didn't just take himself to the Spurs. Like I just don't
understand. I just don't understand.
He flirted around
why
with the
that's
idea
not.
And I'll go to Texas, but
why that's not where he went. I mean, like that place is tailor made for him.
It is.
It's tailor made for him. Like when I heard that he was going to Boston, I'm like, wait, that's got to be a mistake, right? Like there's no way that's where he's going.
Like wait, you mean he's going to Texas, but you mean San Antonio?
Like
that's what you mean.
There's no way he's going to Houston with James Harden. Oh, chucking ass, no way. He going somewhere where he can run. Like you imagine this dude getting 20 assists a night. Chris Paul go to the Spurs. He getting 20 assists a night. He ain't got to shoot. He can have a night where he dope every once in a while and like can carry the offense. But he getting 15, 20 assists every night down there.
I will say this though. I am very interested to see what's going to happen with that offense with CP3 passing the ball to Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson.
Ain't Eric Gordon going somewhere though?
Where's he going?
I thought I saw something with that Eric Gordon was like on his way out too. I thought.
Where the hell would he go anywhere? I wouldn't go anywhere now. Like CP3 is about to make him millions. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, hold on. No, he just welcomed. No, he welcomed. What's the name to Houston when it happened yesterday. Welcome to Red Nation, CP3. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
All right, maybe I misheard his name then.
So you got him. You got Ryan Anderson, who can hit a bunch of 3-pointers. And then you got them two guys getting them open. So you double teaming CP3, you double teaming James Harden. Those guys are going to get a bunch of wide open threes, and all they have to do is hit them. That should be great for him in his career. But I am mad at Chris Paul for not just going to San Antonio, because I think in San Antonio they could have given the Warriors some go. They'd have still lost in 6. But
I think they'd get in work.
It would have been a fun series to watch.
Yep, big time. Because they was already giving them a little bit of work before Kawhi went down.
Yeah, they still would have lost in 5. But
they probably would have, but they'd have gave them some work.
It would have been a good series. So this would have been a good series. I don't think the Houston Rockets are going to give the Warriors a good series with the team that they have constructed. I think it's going to take a lot more than CP3. Now, if they get CP3 and then they add Paul George, then, that changes things. They may lose in 6. I just don't see anybody beating the Warriors, man. Unless they get injured, some injury happens, I just don't see anybody beating them. But I would like to watch it. I think it would have been cool to watch. Houston getting CP3, and then you get Paul George, and you got CP3, Paul George, and you got James Harden. Now you have the blueprint or the framework of something that can compete with the Warriors. Not that they're going to, but you have the framework. But now you have CP3 in Houston, so that leaves San Antonio still out there searching. What do you think about Derrick Rose in San Antonio?
I mean, it could work. I think that would be a good, solid landing spot for him. I mean, I think it would be a solid spot. The environment wouldn't be as hostile as the last two places he's been. Because here was obviously bad for two separate reasons. We know what the two reasons are here, and then New York is
three separate reasons.
Three, okay, I'll get out. Yeah, that's fine too. Three. For those not familiar with what we're talking about the fucking owner, the fucking GM, and the fucking president of the fucking Chicago Bulls. All bad. And New York is just his own monster, man. That the media there, they're ready. They're ready to pounce on you. Not to say that's the reason why he had his problems there, but just the whole thing, man. He's already a partially fragile dude to begin with. So just being in that situation with knowing what we know now with Phil and all of the garbage they had going on, behind the scenes, probably didn't help it either.
No, but going to San Antonio, I think would be good because they're used to their point guard not shooting 3-pointers. So he can go there and just slide right in and mid-range jump shot it out. Because even last year, Derek was pretty good on mid-range jump shots. Again, he just wasn't. He was abysmal shooting 3-pointers again, and
which is normal because that's never been his thing.
That's never been his thing. So he can go there and run the same thing to Tony Parker, little floaters in the lane and mid-range jump shots, and mostly just I'm sure Pop is going to get him to play some defense, a little bit of defense, or he won't play. I mean, he did the same thing to Powell. Powell did not play until Powell got it through his skull. You have to at least try out here, or you won't be on the floor. There was plenty of games early in the season where he just wasn't finishing the games because he shouldn't have. He doesn't play defense. But I'd like to see Derrick go there, but it's for some odd reason he wants to go back to New York. I don't think that boy knows what the hell he wants.
Nah, he's pretty lost, man. Can we go back to my NBA player that I love to hate?
Which one? You got a lot of them.
You know who it is. You know who we talking about.
CP3?
No. I got nothing. Well, you know what? You're right. I forgot about Draymond. You're right. You're right. I want to punch Draymond.
Jimmy Butler?
Yes, but you're right about Draymond. I want to punch that dude in the face.
I love Draymond.
Fucking jerk. I can't stand that dude. But yeah, Jimmy Butler.
What did Jimmy do? What did Jimmy do to you today?
He didn't do anything. So he existed for starters. That's enough. That's enough. You just
it's always an issue.
What was it, Step Brother when he just like, I just want to punch you in the face.
I just want to punch you.
Is there anything that I could do to my face that would prevent you from waiting? No, there's nothing you can do. I just want to punch you. I just punch you in the face. There's nothing you can do. You can't cut your hair. You can't.
Okay, if Jimmy cut his hair,
nope. Maybe you know what? That stupid hairdo of his. A stupid mushroom dreadlock deal he has. Maybe that would help. Maybe I would want to punch him as bad. But Jimmy today had his welcome press conference, if you will, to his new found home with his lover of a coach. And Jimmy decided, to have this ready-made, in my eyes, ready-made comment in response to a ready-made question from a reporter about what happened here and what's being said about his leadership and who was commenting. Everybody knows about what Antoine Walker said and yada 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 about him being bad locker room guy and all of this, which is all true. Kiss my ass, Jimmy. It's all true. He decides to go to give the whole. You know where I'm at. I'm at where I'm at. I be where I be. You want something to say to me? Come find me. As a matter of fact, here's my phone number. Call me when you want to complain or say something about me.
Oh, I wish you would have did that when he was in Chicago.
And I didn't know about this until I had heard the replay on it later. Until after Jimmy had already apparently had 4,000 voicemails left on this 773 number that he put out.
Yeah, you knew it had to be 773.
And I couldn't find an angry type of dialing meme I wanted to use. I said, wait, Jimmy put his number out there. Let me see if I can get my phone out quick enough so I can call Jimmy and give him a piece of my goddamn mind. Fuck out of here. Everything people have said about you has been true.
But Jimmy, I mean, before we go, what's going on, BTG? Baylor the Great has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Baylor, say hello to the people.
How y'all doing? I definitely called Jimmy earlier, though.
You called? Did you get in?
You cussed his ass out?
No, I didn't get in, but I wasn't even going to cuss him out. I was going to ask him why he didn't come to the Lakers.
You don't want them problems out there, big dog. You don't want them.
Nah, we don't. Players out there, just let it be.
All up in the coaches' interviews.
Walking in, you don't want him walking into your film session.
Yeah. telling you how to coach. Hey,
I ain't getting touches. I need ISOs. You don't need all of that.
I don't think Walton gonna let him. I don't think Walton will let him get down like that anyway.
Walton needs to coach us harder.
Walton need to coach y'all harder. He's gonna let you know.
Hey, Jimmy better not come out here with all that.
Yeah, that's why we telling you didn't need Jimmy. He ain't gonna do it with Thibs because Thibs would probably break his goddamn neck,
break his back.
Oh, he gonna do that regardless, just playing them extra minutes
with the minutes,
right? He gonna break him. Jimmy got about 2 more years in the league now. He didn't really mess up. I hope he got his financial affairs in order because it's over. We'd already talked about the CP3 trade, and me and Rob, we kind of was like, okay, cool. What do you think about that trade, baby?
Well, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, I believe the Clippers. I think the Clippers made out with that. I get it. I think CP3 and Harden can coexist, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
That's the same thing we said. Nothing's going to change.
But I can see, and then you got Jerry West over there. I mean, he ain't never struck out, so I believe he's over there trying to build some pieces and see if he can land a big fish, and it might happen. So
he walked up in there and looked at that roster and was like, you know what, we got to blow this down up. This is over.
Yeah, I thought Magic came in and cleaned out the closet. That nigga came in there and said, "Look, I don't like this at all."
So what do y'all think about? I'm sorry, Dre. About what the whole backstory with the whole Doc and Austin, Austin Rivers deal and why CP3 was kind of pissed and kind of couldn't wait to get out of there.
I believe it, and then the Melo trade not going down, I would be pissed too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Austin in the offseason is beating up. He's hooping and beating up on kids in college or whatever. That money that he got, man, nah, come on, man.
We all know that Doc the GM has completely failed Doc the average coach, right? Mm-hmm. We know that. Like, come on now. Like, Doc is an average coach, right? Can we all agree with that?
I agree with that.
He is. He's proven that he's an average coach on his own accord.
Okay, but Doc the GM is even worse at his job than Doc the coach is.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So you got Jerry West, a bona fide Hall of Famer in 2 different areas, as a basketball player, as a basketball front office guy, Hall of Famer. He came in, saw what was going on, said, you know what? CP3 is up out of here. The only question I have now is, do they keep Blake Griffin? Does he stay? Because you know him and CP3 hated each other.
Well, I think that might be the reason why he might stay. I wouldn't be surprised if he did leave. I mean, Jerry West seems like he's all right with cleaning a roster and starting all over. I mean, hell, the Clippers is getting a new facelift, getting a new arena, everything. So, you know.
Why would Blake stay? What would be the purpose of Blake staying there now?
Because it's his team now.
It's his team, and I don't have to deal with Chris Paul anymore. Like, them boys been wanting to run since probably the second year Chris
but
Paul
I
was
mean,
there.
are they going? I get that, but like, is he going? Is he like a main piece guy that's going to put some team in the playoffs and like go far because it's his team now?
Nope, not
this
at
team,
all.
hell no. Not a chance in the world. I mean, he's still Blake Griffin.
So that's my point. So like, what? So then why would he be all like, oh, well, I can stay now because now it's my team, and that we can
it's just that because Chris Paul is gone. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want.
So basically, just pride then.
Yeah.
And just going
what? And then it might be the combos behind closed doors that we don't know about. Maybe Jerry West said, "Look, we're gonna do what we could do to get you some pieces over here, but you're gonna be the focal point. You're gonna be the number one."
And they did get. I mean, they got Decker. You know,
that was my guy in the NCAA championship.
They got Pat Bev.
That boy couldn't.
I like that.
The championship game.
Yeah.
You know. So they got, and then they got the rest of the guys that's already there. You know, now you look around and you try to get yourself a point guard again, but a point guard that fits the style of play that they want to run, which is really running and gunning. Chris Paul is a guy who wants, and that's the main reason why I'm like, man, it's going to be interesting how that all plays in together because the Rockets are running and gunning, and Chris Paul likes the slow crawling.
Okay, wait. For what you just said, the Clippers go out there and go get a point guard, right? So that mean? Do you mean Pat Bev is like a trading piece?
I don't know.
He's like a backup though. I mean, he's not.
Well, he's
Pat
going to play the point guard.
Is he not good enough to start?
Yeah, he's gonna start, but you need somebody that could actually like score.
Do something. Yeah, I mean he's a dope guy to give your starting point guard a breather.
And you know, I love Pat Beverly. I thought him and James Harden together worked very, very well because it kept James Harden off of the point guards that he obviously would never be able to guard.
Right.
I'm just thinking about the ego part. Like, I don't want to come over here and not start, and this is not a promise.
No, he's definitely starting. He's definitely starting. But you need another guard, a combo guard that can handle the ball, shoot the ball.
Doc say I got that already. What y'all talking about?
No, Austin Rivers is not that.
What the hell y'all mean? I got that.
I'd rather have Doc Rivers than Austin Rivers. Give me Doc 1992.
Didn't they get a pick? Didn't they get a pick out of this too?
Yeah, but it's like
talked about that.
Top
it's like
14, top 14 protected, and then I think it becomes a second round pick. So,
okay.
That they protected themselves pretty well with that pick. So we talked about. So we were saying Blake is probably going to stay, but the Suns just are going to offer him 4 years, 130. They giving him big boy money right out the. They said 1201 on Saturday. 1201, 4 years, 130.
Yo, that's a lot of. Hey, yo, that's a lot of bread to hop on that 10 freeway.
That's a lot of money.
God,
and then, okay, let's look at their lineup though.
They got all guards over there.
You got
guards.
You got Eric Bledsoe. You got Devin Booker.
I'm sold.
You're gonna have Tyson Chandler, Blake Griffin, and I don't remember who their small forward was. Was it TJ? TJ Warren? Probably TJ Warren at the 3.
Wow,
that's good. That's about 30, 35 wins, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah. I mean, in the West, yeah.
That's a pretty nice roster.
Considering Blake is going to be hurt by game 26.
That's the problem right there. Blake, and they talking about Blake might not be able to play until December.
And then 3 weeks into that, he gonna get hurt again.
Oh, Blake, take the money and run, kid.
Yeah,
take that money.
You better get it now.
That money and get the hell up out.
You better get it now. While his legs, while he can still walk.
So Baylor, have you been keeping up with this Cleveland shit? This Cleveland stuff.
What's the latest
with Kyrie?
No, what happened with Kyrie?
Oh, they talking about a trade.
New one?
With the Utah Jazz. It's a 3-way trade. The Pacers would get, I'm assuming, whatever. I don't know. Which is why I don't know why the Pacers do it. But it would be Paul George and George Hill going to the Cavs, and Kyrie going to Utah.
Hey, Devin ain't never going home. This White Sox Yankees game is starting at 10 o'clock.
Wait. So Utah gets Kyrie.
Yes.
The Cavs get
Paul George and George Hill.
Paul George and George Hill.
And the Pacers just get the scraps.
They talking about draft picks or something. I don't know. Nonsense.
I don't know what draft picks they can get because who got them?
I don't know. I have to look at what Utah has.
So I mean, how does
because we know Cleveland ain't got none.
How's that gonna happen? I thought Melo was forcing a buyout so he can go to Cleveland.
It's not gonna happen. They've already pretty much.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's just fun to talk about.
But, we're talking about it because it's fun. If that trade were to happen, is that a negative move, positive move, or lateral?
For Cleveland, it's a positive.
Really?
Well, for Cleveland, it's a positive. For Utah. For Utah, it's positive. For Kyrie, it's not good.
For Kyrie, it's not good.
No, he's going back. He's going back to 14 wins this season, and I mean, God bless the Pacers. They don't. They just. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna get it together. Period. No, but that's good for the Cavs. That's definitely good for the Cavs.
So you think getting rid of Kyrie, Mamba mentality, 3-point shot, game winning, game 7, championship winning Kyrie, that'll be good?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can go either or. You can go PG-13 or Kyrie. I understand Kyrie probably got a better offense than PG-13.
He does.
But we seen what can happen if I think it's about the chemistry. And of course Bron does need that closer.
He does.
Kyrie didn't do too much closing this series.
He didn't.
He had one. He had it.
But hell, we saw Paul George. What is Paul George in game-winning situations like 1 for 13 or something like that? He ain't no closer himself.
I think, and then they would get George Hill, right?
They get George Hill. I was saying the reason why I would say it was a positive or like a lateral move is I do think they get better defensively. So if you're talking about the matchup with the Warriors, defensively they get better. I think offensively they get a little bit worse.
I don't know if they get worse. I mean, because they have that problem with Kyrie holding the ball too long.
Sometimes he does hold the ball too long, but I also believe that there were moments in the last 2 seasons where they absolutely needed Kyrie to just go Kyrie. And I don't know if you switch the two. Same team, take off Kyrie, put on Paul George. I don't know if he has the offensive capability to just go complete. Like, what did Kyrie do last year in that finals, like the last couple games? Did he get like 3 straight 40-point games or like 2 40-point games and a 35-point game or something like that?
Something like that.
He definitely look. We know he feels comfortable playing against Golden State. He tears them guards up. The only thing that I'm going off of is I've seen PG-13 play against Bron in the playoffs, and I think PG-13 got that hunger in him. I think it'll cause problems for Golden State. I'm not saying that the Cavs have a better chance of winning, I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I don't know. They do need a change though, because that roster right there might not get it against Golden State.
So where do you think Paul George ends up? End of the day.
Shit. I'm hoping he can just walk back home.
Yeah, I know that's what you're hoping, but let's just go off of the assumption that he's going to do what he's been telling everybody he's going to do. No matter where I go, I'm going to LA. Where do you think he's going to be next season? You don't want him to go to Cleveland. You don't want him to do that.
I don't see him going anywhere else but Cleveland or Boston.
If he goes to Cleveland, he's not going to LA.
Why you say that?
Because I don't think I can't see him getting to the finals with Cleveland and then being like, you know what? I think I want to go play with Lonzo Ball. I think that Ball boy. I know LeBron is cool and all, but man, I think I want to go play with Lonzo.
There's not too many options. There's not too many options outside, especially in the East. We looking at Boston, we looking at Cleveland, and the reason why I say that is because of the pieces that they could give up. And then West, it's going to be a lot of the Rockets is definitely trying. So, oh boy, I don't know. Honestly, he goes
to Houston. That's a nice. Me and Rob talked about it. That's a nice little three-headed monster they have there. They'll lose to the Warriors in 5 or 6, but it'll be fun.
With PG-13?
Yeah, they're losing in 5 or 6. How many points? How many points is Clay and Steph going to average?
Don't bring up Clay. He's on my shit list.
Clay did not shoot very well. He never shoots well in the playoffs. It's really weird.
That's what I'm saying.
He has that one breakout game like every finals or every playoffs, and it came in the perfect time last year against OKC, and it came again this year against the Cavs. But his defense was fire. But think about it. Who's going to be guarding him? James Harden? And you know Steph eats CP3 up every time they play. He can't stand CP3. He make a point to embarrass him every single time they play. I'm gonna make this nigga fall right here. I'm gonna go behind my back and pull back, blow a kiss to my right.
Well, right now, technically, I mean, I would have to say go ahead and keep Kyrie, only because we haven't seen PG-13 perform in the playoffs in a while. Or rather perform at a high level. And we talking about Cavs is going to the Eastern Conference, going to the championship every year, at least for now. So I don't know. The chemistry seems to be there, but they still need another piece. They definitely need another piece. So I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
That's what me and Rob was saying.
We knew this offseason was going to be something.
How do we keep up with the Warriors? That's really what everybody is trying to do.
That's what
everybody's scrambling around like they just the Warriors. Technically, it started with Bron in Miami, but the Warriors got cats going crazy, man.
I was telling people this, and I've talked about it continuously. Everybody shits on like KD and the Warriors for what they did, coming together like this. But I've always asked this question: what did people think was going to happen with LeBron James consistently stacking his teams, however the hell he wanted them to be?
I'm now getting to the point where I don't care about the whole super team thing because
I don't give a damn.
Because every time I think of it now, I think of Barkley pops in my head, Ewing pops up in my head. Malone pops up in my head, and it's like they're gonna be in the same situation if they don't make moves. And I hopped on Garnett head because I'm like, he should have left Minnesota early.
Yeah, we all say that. He should have.
Loyalty. You got it. Loyalty and your personal goals. It's a thin line between it. It's just that we didn't like the way KD left to that. It was a team that he went to. I feel like the level that he played on, he could have played with just about anybody. He could have played with any playoff contender team. The same way he played with Golden State. It was just that Golden State had more weapons. I'm
They did.
over it. I'm over it. The Cavs is somewhat stacked. Golden State is somewhat stacked. Now everybody else is going to do it.
Everybody's trying to catch up.
Everybody's trying to catch up. It's money involved. Contracts it's total chaos. Then you got to fit in them rookies. We got a lot of rookies out there that can start. So, man, I don't know.
I've always felt like fans are the problem.
Oh, we always the problem.
We're the
Something wrong with
problem.
us.
We're the problem because you brought up Barkley, you brought up Ewing. You can bring up Karl Malone, John Stockton. We so consistently bring up the fact that they've never won a championship.
But at the same time, we only bring it up when it comes to rankings, though.
Yeah, but listen to me though. These young guys that are playing basketball now, they hear that. They read that. And they don't want to be mentioned with Charles Barkley. They don't want to be up on TNT with somebody else that's won a ring, like Charles is with Shaq, and have that dude sitting there and tell him, you can't talk about this because you never won a ring.
Yeah, I'll be feeling bad. I'll be feeling bad about Barkley.
Yeah, I don't even like Charles Barkley, but that pisses me off because Charles Barkley is one of the best players to ever play basketball. So, and him not winning the ring doesn't change that fact. These young guys, they hear that. They watch Shaq do that to Charles Barkley. To put it in lame, they don't want to be Charles Barkley.
Right.
So they're doing things to stop themselves from being Charles Barkley. And when it happens, we're all like, yo, well, you shouldn't have done it like that. So we tell people all the time, you need to win, 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 win. And then when they go out of their way to win, we're like, well, we don't want you to win like that. Like, we don't get to have it both ways.
Right.
We either tell them that winning is everything or being great is. We can't say, well, we want you to win. And then when the dudes say, well, fuck it, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get with this team and I'm going to blow everybody out and we're just going to win. Then we say, well, that's cheating.
I think because we're torn, we're still torn between we want them to win, but it's how we seen players won, during our era win,
See, that's what we were arguing with Devin about that.
The Bulls was a legendary team, but that wasn't a super team to me. That was a well put together roster. You know what I mean?
You go back and look at the rosters that the Bulls won championships with some year, the only thing that was super about them was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
That's about it. But cats that really, like us, we really, really watched basketball. We knew having Kukoc was very valuable.
Yeah, he won Game 7 against the Pacers. He won Game 7.
Ron Harper was valuable. You know what I mean? Steve Kerr was valuable. Luke Longley was the best center of all. No, I'm just playing.
Well, about to get kicked up off there. I know the Aussies love that, but you about to get kicked up off of here, man, with Luke Longley.
And then you got Rodman. Like, these cats.
Rodman was awesome. They did, but all in all, the Bulls had 3 Hall of Famers on the second championship. I don't count Robert Parrish because what did Robert Parrish? He played about 200 more minutes than we did throughout that entire season. But the first 3, the Bulls only had 2 Hall of Famers on that 3-peat. It was Michael and Scottie. Nobody else from that first 3-peat going to the Hall of Fame. You think Horace Grant is going to the Hall of Fame? Right. So that wasn't a super team. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were just super.
Right.
Yeah, they was just good.
Even the second 3-peat, that was not a super team. You had guys like Judd Bushler, Bill Wennington, Randy Brown.
Judd Bushler.
Hey, don't say Bill Wennington name like that.
Bill Wennington would tip dunk the hell out of you. I'm all for it. He was a tip dunk. When he first got with the Bulls, we were like, who is this white dude tip dunking all these rebounds? And it was Bill Wennington. Right?
And he looked like an oversized lawyer.
Like you look at him, he had the big thick beard. Like, this dude can't hoop, and then he out there hitting 15-footers and dunking on everybody.
And they played their part.
They played their part, but that's not a super team. But that's one of the things that we were talking about with Devin yesterday. But to go back to the conversation about the winning and losing, you know, we talk about winning and losing in like this vacuum and being great. So it's either you're great or you're a winner. Like you can't be both. Um, so the argument that he was having with Devin, it was a stupid argument. It was a Kobe or LeBron argument.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not going to start the argument, but I will talk about it because
I sent y'all some slander, right? Not y'all, but him.
you know what? Sean told me you sent the message, and I was gonna listen to it, but we was already on the air, so I'm gonna listen to it afterwards.
Okay.
But we were talking about the two, and the question was, who's better? Now, the argument is always preference, and I don't know why it becomes an argument. Why a person can't just say, "Well, I like Kobe Bryant better," or "I like LeBron better," and that just be it. But it can't be. So we're talking about the two, and the question becomes, do you like Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan?
Yep.
BTG says, well, I go back and forth between the two. And Devin is like, how? Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. So BTG is trying to, he's trying to bring Devin around to the idea that if you're telling me that Michael Jordan is so much better than Magic Johnson, why can't you understand why I will say that LeBron James isn't better than Kobe? Because LeBron is basically just Magic Johnson 2.0.
Exactly.
Right? So for me to say that I think Kobe is better is the same reason why you think Michael is better. And for some odd reason, Devin couldn't understand that. But that's like the microcosm of everything that we talk about. Winning and losing, stats. Like we have these analytics. LeBron is efficient here. And at the end of the day, like the last thing I said on my personal account, I was like, okay, LeBron is super duper efficient in all the stats except the one where when we're parsing greats, it really matters. Winning championships. He's 3-5 in that. So if you're going to throw out all these stats at me, why can't I throw back the fact that he's 3-5? And you can tell me all the stats you want to about he averaged a triple double, he did this, he did that.
That's like that meme that you love, where Buddy's trying to get in the door.
Yeah.
Like
LeBron is 3-5, but he averaged. Look at these stats.
look at it.
Hey, the meme just popped into my head.
That's the truest thing. And like, I am not a LeBron James fan. I'm not. But I am not a LeBron James hater.
It's finally said.
Okay,
I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I'm not.
But this is the cool part about it, though. Even though I said I can go back and forth between Magic and MJ, I said, damn, out here in LA, Laker fans, we are perfectly okay with saying Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the best player that ever played basketball.
Now,
we are
like
fine
he said
with
that. He said that in a tweet. The problem is Devin does not like. It's not okay for anybody to say they think Kobe Bryant was better than LeBron. And what we were trying to say is it's a preference thing. It's a preference for us. I want a guy who's going to say, win or lose, we're going to lose what the fuck I do. We're not going to lose with what Kyle Korver is going to do. And I don't care about it being the best basketball shot. Every Bulls fan knew that Kyle Korver was going to miss that shot because that's what Kyle Korver does in the playoffs. I'd have rather it been J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick would have hit that three. Kyle Korver, he's going to miss that three every time, every single time. I don't want. I like the demeanor.
How often has Kyle Korver actually been in the playoffs?
He was with Atlanta. They were in the playoffs quite often.
Yeah, with Atlanta.
He's down there for like what, 2 years though? How long was he down there?
I want to say he's down there for like 4 years, 5 years, right?
You sure?
Because he only played with the Bulls for 1 year.
No, he was with the Bulls longer than 1 year.
2 years. 2 years. And then they got rid of him. He was down in Atlanta for the rest of the remainder of his career. He came from Utah to the Bulls, I want to say. And then he went from the Bulls to Atlanta. But we all knew he was missing that shot. He doesn't. Kyle Korver doesn't perform well in the playoffs.
No.
He never does. But I'm not a LeBron James fan, I'll admit that. I don't hate him. LeBron James is a top 10 basketball player of all time. And I feel the same way about Kobe stands as I do about LeBron James stands. Like, for all of them, anything that you say that's like, okay, he's not number 2 all time. For them, it always feels like, well, then you're disrespecting him. If I don't say that LeBron James,
Kobe?
Kobe and LeBron for stands.
Kobe is definitely not number 2.
No, of course not. But for a Kobe stand, he's better than Michael Jordan.
Man, come on. You know those is cats that just watch basketball when the playoffs come on.
But that's how it comes off sometimes when you say, I think Kobe is better than LeBron, and LeBron fans just lose their.
But you also got to check the age bracket though, because none of the OGs, cats my age or older, is gonna say that. I mean, we may not even have Kobe in the top 5. Some cats. You know
Kobe
what I
Bryant
mean?
is not in my top 5, and Kobe Bryant is my second favorite player of all time. My first favorite player of all time isn't in the top 5 of best players of all time.
You got your personal top 5, and then you got a reasonable top 5.
I have my favorite player. I've said this on the podcast plenty. My favorite player of all time is Scottie Pippen. I know he's not a top.
That's my favorite player.
Yeah, he's not a top anything. Like Scottie is the way. He's a top 50 player of all time. I'll give him that. Maybe probably 30. Scottie might be in the 30s, but he's definitely not in the top 10, top 5, top 20. Like no, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Whoa! Scottie not in the top 20?
Top 20? No, I could reel off 20 people that are probably better.
Yeah. Whoa, down.
And I love Scottie.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. But I don't think. But that's a problem for me. Like that conversation we was having yesterday. That's why at the end of it, I told Devin, I was like, "No, I just have some time for you today," because he doesn't believe. This is the funny thing. I love you, Devin, but he doesn't believe that he's a Kobe hater, and he is, without a shadow of a doubt. He is a huge Kobe hater.
But I brought in my dark horse, and he ignored it.
What was that?
Because you know how he liked to bring up numbers, right?
Yeah.
So I said, this guy has 6 rings, he has 6 MVPs, and he's number 1 in scoring. Why is it? I said, why is he number 1? If you want to talk about numbers,
Rob, Kyle Korver played in Atlanta for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, I already looked it up.
So 5. So 5 seasons.
Yeah, 5.
So that, and I want to say
I didn't realize it had been that long.
And every year he was terrible in them. Yeah, that's a good question. That's always a good question. Why isn't it Kareem? I think when we're going through great basketball players, we're parsing them. We all use different things. Like okay, Kareem has 6 MVPs and he's won 6 rings, but was he always the man for them 6 rings? No.
Oh, but no, but that's what I was trying to explain to him. Anything that you say against Kareem or Magic or Kobe, I can say for your players. So if he wasn't the man, all those championships, then you got to take away Kyrie, you got to take away Ray, you got to take away Wade. That's all I'm saying.
And we throw in the fact that he's lost 5 fucking finals. I mean, like you can't just. And that's one of the things that pisses me off because I've always felt like this about LeBron. For as good as he is, the goalpost has always changed. Whenever we're talking about greatness, when it applies to him, goalpost changes. It used to be, like we know that we're not talking about the Robert Ory's of the world when we're talking about winning championships. Like we understand that. And I hate when people be like, well, championships aren't the only thing. No, they're not. But they're a really big part of being great. Like it's really important. That is a really important part of parsing greatness. How many championships have you won? And if you want to throw out all these analytical stats and all these efficiency things, then okay, that's fine. But I always tell Devin at the end of the day, Kobe got 5 rings. You can't take that away. Mike has 6. Magic has 5. Magic won. How many times Magic go? 9?
9.
9 times. He won 5 of them. He's above 500. Bird above 500. Like these are things like nobody's hating when you bring these things up. Like you could Magic lost 4 finals. He had 1 tragic Magic final. We're not hating on Magic when we bring these things up. But with LeBron super fans, if you bring anything up negative about LeBron, you're being a hater. And I've always had a problem with that. Like that to me is crazy. And it used to be like that with Kobe fans too. But Kobe's no longer here, so nobody gives a shit about what you say about Kobe. But with LeBron fans is like that. You say anything about him, you being a hater, and it's not being a hater. You're like we're talking about the greatest basketball players of all time. And if you're talking about, I'm not talking about the talented, because if we're talking about who I think was the most talented basketball player of all time, I said it last podcast. I think it's Wilt Chamberlain. I think Wilt Chamberlain was probably the most talented basketball player of all time. He was 14 years old playing against grown men and averaging 30 points and 20 rebounds. He was 14 years old playing against grown men. He had a completely different name. I can't remember what the name was, but he went under alias, played in the professional basketball league, and dominated at 14.
I heard he batting 1,000 with women too, so you can't knock him for that.
Hey, anybody that could say he hit 1,000, he's a superhero. He's super. But I mean, you gotta understand what I'm saying. We're parsing greatness. I think that we should be able to talk about all things involved. Statistics are great, which is why I threw out PG. I threw out Chris Paul to him. I'm like, you always talking about these efficiency stats. Chris Paul is the king of efficiency. He's the king of analytics. Look at his WARP. Look at his wins above replacement. Look at his value over replacement and his PER and his efficiency and his plus minus and blah 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 blah. Chris Paul is a loser. All of that sounds good. It all sounds good. Look at the fact that
go hard.
Yo, how many times has Chris Paul been out of the first round in his career? Yo, like twice, like 2 times.
Out of the first round?
Once or twice.
Out of the first round.
Yeah.
Twice. 3 times. We'll give him 3 because I ain't looking up his stats. He's a loser. I don't look up loser stats. Been out of the first round 3 times. But he's so efficient. He's so great. He's the point guard. Oh, none of that matters. You're not going to tell me that Chris Paul is better than Isaiah Thomas. You want to know why? Because Isaiah Thomas won 2 championships in between Bird and Magic and Jordan. That's greatness.
Yep.
You're not going to tell me Chris Paul was better than him. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a damn what the stats say. I don't care. He couldn't do good enough. And don't tell me about needing to have a great team or having a good enough team to beat people, because Zeke won championships between Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. He stopped the other 2 from winning championships, and he kept the other one from winning his first. He did that. That's what he did. Don't tell me about needing better players. You be better. You do more.
In fairness, those Detroit teams, though, come on,
they
son.
were great. But you want to know one of the thing that made them great? Zeke.
Yeah, because that wasn't a sexy roster at all.
He just had a bunch of dudes beating the hell out of people. Like, yeah, okay, let's just beat the hell out of him. And then, but you still got to score. You still need somebody running the show. And that was Zeke. That's what he did.
They played pure basketball back then, man.
Winning is, I think the moral of my rant is winning is important. And it feels like because LeBron has not won as much as people expected him to, they're trying to devalue it. Well, he went this many times. Okay, Jerry West went like 12 times. He lost 11. Winning is important.
Man, look, this is all I'm saying. We used to hop on Kobe head for not passing the ball enough,
because he didn't,
shooting too much, things like that. But this is what we would say out here. We would get pissed off at what he did in certain games and things like that. But if we say something about Bron, and it's like they bring up his stats, but he had a triple-double. Man, come on, man.
It's all the triple-double was great. It was awesome for the first 3 quarters of every game.
I'm not where I come from. I'm not passing it to Corbin.
No, come on, Trey. That ain't fair either.
That
come
is
on
fair.
Let's not do it that way.
So hold on. So the fact that the guy that he was checking,
let's not do it that way now either.
By 30 some points in the first 4 games is not an important part of the game.
Wait, what?
The guy that he was going up against, that he was matched up against, primarily in the 4th quarters of every game for the first 4 games, outscored him 31-11.
That's fine. But
that's when the game is won.
But I get that. But let's not act like LeBron wasn't playing 45, 46 minutes a game.
He was.
Let's not act like that.
I expect
that dude is human. Like, let's not make it seem like, well, he like I get it. because you're doing the same thing right now that LeBron people that his stands do. They bring up stats and all of this, but you're doing the exact same thing that they do by talking about what he didn't do. What he didn't. Let me finish though. What he didn't do. What he didn't do in the fourth quarter when he's playing the whole game and he's killing that whole game. It's kind of natural for a person to like fall off in the fourth quarter when he can't sit down for 30 seconds while his team bursting into flames.
I want to ask you this:
turning into dust.
Do we remember anything?
I agree.
I agree. But do we remember anything about any other loser in the final?
That's not the point, though.
I know I'm asking you. Do we?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this particular incident.
We are talking about that because nobody else brings up. Okay, this guy had to play.
Because nobody else had to do that. Nobody else had to do that. No, nobody else had to do that. Nobody else had to carry their entire team on their back for 3 quarters. Mike didn't have to do that. Nobody else had to do that.
Rob, do you remember 1993? If Mike played I think he played 45 minutes a game, scored 45 points a game, had 9 assists and 8 rebounds. He did the exact same thing because going into that series, if Michael Jordan does not score, and that's not just a Michael Jordan thing, if he doesn't score 45 points per game, they lose that series.
Okay, the same thing happened last year. If LeBron didn't do what he did last year, they win that series.
Yeah, if LeBron doesn't do what he does, and it was great.
So I mean,
he got congratulated. Congratulations for winning that series.
But to want to take him down a peg for not doing it again this year. You just tried to by saying
that's not a peg. That's literally saying that the guy that they lost.
That's fine, but it is though. It does. But that's the thing though. It makes it seem like you want to go, well, he's not great because he didn't do it again.
I never said that. I said he lost this year, and I don't care about his stats.
That's how it comes off, though. I get it, though. I completely get it.
If it comes off like that, I honestly don't care because the point of what I'm saying is I don't care about your stats when you lose. I don't care who you are when you lose. Then don't bring up this of what he didn't do. Then if you don't care about, that's the point. You have to combat the fact that people are telling you he averaged a triple-double. Okay, fine. He averaged that triple-double, and all that is good. But in the fourth quarter of these games, he was getting outscored by the person that he was guarding. So if you want to throw out the fact that he played all these minutes and he scored all these points and grabbed these rebounds and did these assists and all these great things, you also have to listen to people when they give you the negative part of it as well. And that's the problem with the people that with the whole thing. You cannot say anything negative about LeBron. You literally cannot. Go on Twitter and say LeBron got outscored 31-11 in the first 4 games in the fourth quarter. And all you will get is he averaged a triple-double and he played a whole bunch of minutes. He did. Both things are true. That's my entire point. It's like it has to be one or the other. No, they can both be true. He played a bunch of minutes, which led to him playing badly in the fourth quarter, which he did. That's not me saying LeBron isn't great or that he didn't play great. It's literally me saying I watched these games. He played well in the first 3 quarters. He didn't get a chance to rest. He didn't get a chance to rest, and he got tired.
I see what you're saying, but that when you say it like that, that's not how it's coming off. That's not how it's coming off. You're making it because when you no. I see what you're saying, Dre. I feel exactly what you're saying. But when you say it like that, you're trying to. It's almost coming off like you're saying, well, but look, in the fourth quarter when the crunch time came in, he got his ass busted 30-something to 11 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's kind of like what we're used to because we never made excuses for anybody else. That's what
when you lose, you lose, and you get to be talked about like you lost. You don't get to say you did all these things because who says what the hell Charles Barkley averaged in '93? Because he was busting ass in '93, but don't nobody give a shit because he lost. Nobody throw his stats around.
Hey, you know who fault was that? It was MJ fault when he played with that hangover. When we see cats play like that, and it's like no room for error. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to hear no excuses, especially if you get compared to those cats. And I mean, look, if you mess up, awesome. Like if you missed a game-winning shot, you missed a game-winning shot. But we just tired of excuses, though. Like I should be able to critique LeBron without being called a hater. I'm just saying it is what it is. They're gonna bring up the triple double in the minutes that he played every game to make sure it makes him look good.
But I don't want to, I'm not trying to make him look good or bad. I'm not trying to do either. I'm literally trying to say this is what happened in this game, and you cannot do it. You just cannot. Like I saw immediately after that series, people talking about the Warriors win is a tribute to LeBron. LeBron and the triple doubles, and if you try to say anything about what happened or LeBron losing this series brings him down, nobody said. Like I think, like what you said right there was like my main problem. I'm not trying to bring him down a peg. LeBron James is one of the 10 greatest basketball players to me to ever play the game of basketball. The issue is, why can't I say anything negative about him? We can say things negatively about every other player. But the second you say anything negative, or even that's not even negative, it's just not positive. Because me saying that he got outscored in the fourth quarter is just the truth. That's not a negative thing. And I can say it and give you the background of it. Yes, he played a lot of minutes, which led to him not being able to perform well in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, he just didn't perform well in the fourth quarter. We're not gonna listen to the
LeBron. You hate LeBron so much.
I don't. I like. Look, Baylor just said the exact same thing I said. I don't hate LeBron.
You hate LeBron so much.
I don't because I don't hate LeBron so much because I don't have any. Like, it's nothing besides the fact he didn't come to Chicago. That was probably the only thing I really cared about. But after that, I don't care. I honestly don't care. I have my basketball players that I like, and I have the ones that everybody else I really just don't care about. I don't dislike any NBA basketball player except for Marcus Smart. I hate him. I don't dislike any other basketball player in the NBA. I just like Smart. I hate Marcus Smart. But I want to keep the criticisms of every NBA player in NBA history. We have to be able to criticize them at the same wavelength. It can't be, well, this is why. Okay, Jordan lost 3 straight years to the Pistons, and nobody ever says the reason why. We don't talk about, well, Scottie Pippen got a migraine or the team wasn't good. No, Michael Jordan lost 3 straight years to the Pistons until he broke through. That was the criticism back then. The criticism was, will a player who scores that many points ever win a championship? It wasn't about anything else. It was just criticizing Michael Jordan because that was the criticism. That was what people were wondering. And when he lost, there was all on Mike. It wasn't about the team not being better because he was the best player on the team. We didn't have there are no excuses. And I feel the same way about a lot of the players of this generation.
But nobody cared as much for that
but
team.
I'm talking about right now.
But I mean, if we're using that as an example, nobody cared as much. Mike wasn't Mike yet.
Mike had already won an MVP.
No, but regardless, we still gonna bring up we gonna bring up their flaws regardless. Like we still bring up Kobe 3 air balls.
3 air balls. We bring up Kobe. People love throwing the 3 air balls around, and Devin loves throwing out the last championship in Boston without any context to any of the goddamn stats. Well, he shot this percentage, not even mentioning the fact the only reason why he didn't end up shooting 45% from the field for that series is that last goddamn game. But I'm not just talking about LeBron. We do, like, for years we've done the same thing for Chris Paul. Constant excuses for why Chris Paul isn't getting out of the first round. Maybe the problem is Chris Paul. Maybe he's the problem. Maybe the problem is your best player cannot be a midget.
Direct all hate mail to.
Don't give them my ad. But you get what I'm saying. The problem is that he's the problem. That he can't be your best player. But that's never been a criticism of Chris Paul that he can't be the best player. The criticism had always been his teams were not good enough. And I don't want to hear that. I'm tired of hearing that. I want people to be real about everything. If we could be real about all these other people, be real about every player. It can't just be like, I like this guy, so whenever you say something bad about him, you're a hater. I love the point guard. You can't see anything bad about Chris Paul. You're a hater. That's nonsense. Be real about everybody. Chris Paul is a loser. LeBron James is 3-5 in the finals. That's not a hater thing. That's a fact. Well, maybe not about the Chris Paul thing. He might not be a loser to some people. But to me, he's a loser. If you can't get out of the first round multiple times in your career, what does that say about you? Because what do we call Carmelo?
That's my guy too.
What do they call your guy?
Fat.
They call him a loser too.
They call him a loser, but nobody calls Chris Paul a loser because he's the point guard. I'm done with that. Get out of here with that. Joakim Noah is the point guard, not that dude. Anything else, fellas?
I can see my man Boris listening to this and just shaking his leg, wanting to jump in on this LeBron hater.
He wanted to get in on it, but I've been holding these conversations for a while, but with multiple different people. But before we get up off of here, I want to switch lanes. Phil Jackson is gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good move, right?
Right where he's supposed to be.
That's a good move, right?
I've been trying to tell people this, that if y'all don't believe me, y'all gotta believe me now. He is a Lakers spy. He is a Laker Russian spy. He was sent to New York to sabotage the whole franchise. He achieved that.
I'll say mission complete.
Mission is complete. Hey, he drafted a cat that nobody had any footage on to run the triangle, which he's no longer there. Okay. He tried to get rid of Porzingis before he left. Like, mission accomplished.
I had a person in our mentions actually trying to argue me down in protection of Phil Jackson. For hours about how he was no worse than his predecessor. And I don't know how that, I don't know what the point of that is. Okay, that's not really saying much. Every New York front office personnel, they've all been bad for the last 20 years. That doesn't absolve him from being awful. He was absolutely awful. Okay, the first bad move was trading for Derrick Rose. But okay, you got yourself some room, some cap space for the next year. But then you go and sign Joakim Noah to a $70 million contract, which is awful.
$70 million.
We all knew the Joakim Noah was coming.
We all knew it. We all knew it when it happened.
Put his knees on the meat grinder. And he's never, ever returned from it. So we knew that was a bad idea. Okay, you gave him all that money. But then you hire, you hire, who did they have? Hornacek?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You hire him.
You had Fisher first.
Yeah, Fisher first.
Fired him after 1 year. But you only hire Fisher because you just need somebody to run the triangle.
Somebody. Anybody. Oh, you know what?
Hey,
Fish, what up? What you doing? You busy?
No, I'm just over here hanging with Evelyn.
Hey, yeah. Meanwhile, him and Matt Barnes get into a scuffle. But when he got Hornacek, I felt like he said, "Well, look, here's your office, and get to work. Do your thing."
And then he walks away. The only thing I know about the triangle is that y'all beat me with it in there.
Hey, look, and then he comes back. He says, "Oh yeah, and by the way, we're running the triangle, so get it together."
So that fails because you got Derrick Rose, a dude who's,
he's not gonna run anybody's triangle.
He's not running anybody's triangle. He doesn't even know how to spell it. So,
hey, you said it. I thought it.
What up, Simeon? What up?
Hey, I'm just messing around, Derek, my boy. But I'm saying though, he's not running the triangle. You got KP and you got Melo. Melo, who's also not running the triangle. I don't know what the hell Melo was out there running. It was an isosceles triangle if it was anything. He's doing whatever he wanted to do out there. But then you have one good point, one good bright spot on the team, and Kristaps Porzingis. And you want to trade him because he hurt your old weed smoking feelings? I done got his ass up out of there too. You got to go, Phil. You got to go. Take your peyote, your THC, your weed, get it all up. You got to go. The first problem, and on top of that, instead of letting Melo walk when everybody said he should have let him walk, he gives him a contract that blows up. You fire your first year coach, hire another coach who's no good. Then you sign Derrick Rose, you sign Joakim Noah, and you try to trade KP. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that was the murderer's row of terrible decisions. He knocked every last one of them out of the park. If it was like, okay, we need you to hit a home run of bad decision making field, he cleared the bases. He did it every single time. And anybody that thinks Phil Jackson was good at his job, and I'm talking to you, Maurice Andrews, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Any other person that's waxing poetic about 90s basketball and all these geniuses from then, and being able to listen to what these old timers got to say about basketball and all of that, you're out of your fucking mind.
Phil is so stupid that he doesn't realize that every modern NBA offense has incorporated some part of the triangle within it. All of them. They've all incorporated the triangle because it's almost impossible to defend it. Everybody runs that same play. You throw the ball into the post from the elbow. It's a guy in the corner. They crisscross, set a screen, and go to the back. That's the triangle in a nutshell. That's the triangle. And everybody runs that same play, and he doesn't realize it. He wants everybody to run the triangle 100%. Faithful triangle to lead to mid-range jump shots so the Warriors can hit threes and blow your goddamn brains out. This has been the According to Sources podcast. I am glad that you guys joined us. Hey, I'm glad you jumped in, BTG, man. I'm glad you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was dope, man.
It's always fun when you join up in, and I'm glad we had you on, Rob Me, because I like when you fight back against LeBron whack ass. I love when you.
Hey,
man,
he went off.
Man, I'm here to support my guy, man. I'm a LeBron fan, man. So
yeah, I
ain't gonna go nearly as hard in the paint as some of his stands. I'm not a LeBron stan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm definitely a fan. Because I just want to enjoy greatness, man.
I'm a fan of excellence, and
when Kobe was doing his thing, and people like y'all were talking about earlier, when people was going hard at Kobe about whatever, taking too many shots, whatever the case was, I just wanted to enjoy Kobe. I don't care. I want to enjoy Kobe. So unless your name is Draymond Green, I would just want to enjoy greatness.
I enjoy Draymond. Draymond is awesome.
Punch the kid in the face.
You leave Draymond alone. You leave him alone.
I just want to. I want to.
And then punch Jimmy right afterwards.
I want to leave a message for Dev. I just want to let him know. Look, every time I'm having like a down day or just a bad week, I just go watch Kobe drop 81. It just makes me feel so much better.
Where were you at when Kobe dropped 81? I was in college.
I was at home watching the whole thing.
I got a text message. Turn on the game. Kobe got 70. I'm like, what? Oh no! I had that thing on a CD the next day, burned on the CD, watching it. Man, this motherfucker went off. But yeah, man, I'm glad you guys you jumped on BTG, Rob. I'm glad you got on. But you guys know where to find us, according to sources at gmail.com. If you have questions, A2 Sources on Twitter, according to sources on Facebook. Rob, you can give out your at if you want to.
At Rob Tizzle with 2 Z's 88.
BTG, you can give out your at if you feel like it.
At Baylor the Great on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
There you go. And I said it on the last podcast. I say it again. Me, BTG, Rob, we are in a really, really great thread on Twitter. All we do is argue all day about sports. It's awesome. Brothers Layman, Just Blaze. I think, what is it? Just Blaze 513. Just _ Blaze 513. I think is his ad.
Above the Rim.
At the Above the Rim podcast. There's a couple other podcasts that I cannot remember right now because it's getting late and I'm old. But, if you guys go to my mentions or Baylor's mentions or Rob mentions, you'll see that there's a post on there with, I want to say, close to 10,000 responses now.
Oh, God, we argue about everything.
Brothers Layman, Christian, Mr. _ High Yellow.
Yeah.
Chet O'Hara.
Right now. Sometimes I'll do it just to be petty. You can go in there and say something like, Kobe Bryant was better than Barry Sanders, and watch the whole
Somebody's gonna
thing.
argue.
He just sets ablaze. My man Baylor puts a match to it and runs away.
Hey, Dev will come out of nowhere, but look. These numbers show that
Barry averaged more carries per attempt than Kobe did points per shot. So just want to throw that out there. But yeah, man, the thread is great. Everybody's on there is great. It's just Blaze _513 at Chet O'Hara, BTG, Brothers Layman, Ball Sports, ETMF, Christian at _Kristen. It's a whole bunch of really, really dope guys. Go follow them. Go listen to their podcast. Baylor got a podcast that he's on, the Why Not podcast, that I ain't never seen him ever pub ever. You throw one link out there and that's just it. So
it's a mixtape.
So BTG has one. It's a really dope group of dudes, and we all talk. You may not agree with all of them all of the time, but what you will never get is some bullshit from them. Good dudes. Go listen to their podcast, subscribe, rate them on iTunes, Stitcher, and whatever else. So Rob, that's Baylor. I'm Dre. It's ETMF. No, it is not. It's according to sources.
Yeah.
We out.
We're like, you suck.
Whitlock.